All right, let's do this then. Okay, looks like it's working. So let's crack a beer and start this thing. Ooh, that was kind of loud. All right, my name is Austin, and this is Trash Talk Podcast, a podcast where we talk movies, comic books, TV shows, and games while drinking. I'm here with my co-host Travis. How you doing?
Oh, good as always, my friend.
So we just got back from watching Captain Marvel, so this will be our Captain Marvel review, and we will discuss that during that point of the show. But first, we're going to open up with a couple announcements, and then we're going to do real news and fake news, and then we'll start talking some Captain Marvel. First, next week we're going to have a Castlevania episode where we talk the games and also the TV shows, and we're also going to have a guest. We're going to have Mike from Games My Mom Found, a cool podcast where they talk old games that his mom found in his basement or garage or whatever, and they talk and break it down. Usually they're pretty bad games, but they always break it down and talk about it. I listened to a couple of their episodes; they're pretty good. So you can check that out if you want before we have our Castlevania episode we will release. But yeah, that should be fun. So let's start this thing. Travis, you ready for some real news and fake news?
I am ready. Let's hear this.
All right, so how this game works, as always, is I present four ridiculous pieces of movie news, and one of them is fake, and you have to guess which one is real. If you guess the real one, I just take a shot. If you guess wrong, I have to take the shot. So let's begin. So here's a piece of interesting news I found. Tony Hawk, you know who Tony Hawk is or no?
Yes, I've heard of him.
All right. So, big skateboarder guy, probably from the early 2000s. He recently released information that in early 2000s, he was requested to meet with Warner Brothers about doing a film that would be called Skate Jam. So, basically, kind of like a spin off of, well, fuck, I don't mess it up. Street Jam? NBA
Yes.
Jam. No, not NBA Jam. The one with Michael Jordan, they play basketball.
I know of Like Mike, but
Damn it.
oh, Space Jam.
Space Jam, that's what it's called. Wow, I can't believe I messed it up. Oh well, who cares? And they were going to do a movie called Skate Jam, so he would be himself, and there would be the cartoon Looney Tunes squad in the background, kind of, and it would be called Skate Jam. But that point, they had a movie come out called Back in Action, is what it was called, and that movie did not do very well. It bombed actually, so Skate Jam was shelved and then never made or released. Your thoughts about it?
Honestly, I could kind of picture them doing that, especially after with all the success they had from Space Jam. So it sounds plausible, but I'll have to hear whatever the other news is.
All right. So this is kind of interesting. So now there's a company that is planning on making a Monopoly movie. This movie will star Kevin Hart, who I'm not a huge fan of, but yeah, so it's a Monopoly movie starring Kevin Hart. Your thoughts?
Uh, did they have any sort of plan for this? Like, did they have any
Yes.
description of it?
So, a previous version of this project, so I guess they've been trying to develop Monopoly movie for a while, I don't know why, centered on a young man from the game's modest Baltic Avenue on a quest to make a fortune.
That's very interesting. I don't foresee that being a successful movie, but best of luck to them.
Exactly. Well, here's another piece of news I never thought I would see. Do you remember 101 Dalmatians?
The cartoon or the live action?
Ivor.
Okay, I love the cartoon. I
Mhm.
wasn't a fan of the live action.
Do you remember Cruella de Vil?
Yes, I do remember.
Well, she's getting her own movie.
That would be dope as fuck. Like seriously, she is a really kind of snotty, stuck-up rich woman.
Well, this is before that, because guess what? This is a prequel. This happens when she is young. She's going to be played by Emma Stone. And she is going to be, where's my notes? It's going to be set in the 1970s in London before she was called Cruella de Vil. This is when she was known as Estella. That is all that is known.
That's all that's known. Wow. And who was the main actress again?
Emma Stone, she's one that she's in she's in movies.
Emma-
She plays Gwen Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man movie. She was in La La Land. She's in Easy A, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting take. Kind of hard to tell when they don't have any more of a description. Otherwise, it's gonna be set before 101 Dalmatians. But I'd say it's a it's a possibility. Yeah, I guess.
All right. Well, here's another movie you never thought would be made. Last and not least, it is Hot Wheels the movie.
Actually, they've made Hot Wheels movies, but all animated.
Well, this one's live action, but also apparently is going to have a lot of CGI animation style to it.
Well-
I don't know what that means.
Well, basically, Hot Wheels is a fictional world, so they
Yeah.
couldn't really just put it. It's a bunch of orange racetrack, basically.
Yeah.
So they couldn't really just drive around on the road and call it a Hot Wheels movie.
Yeah.
So it would require a crap load of like CGI.
It sounds like a job for James Cameron. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, if they plan on blowing stuff up, maybe they could just have
Michael Bay.
No, Jason Lynn or
Oh,
Justin
yeah.
Lin,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
his name was.
Yeah. Remember in that Aquaman movie when a bunch of explosions happened underwater?
That was awesome. That was
Can explosions happen underwater?
uh,
Probably.
I think depending on, I know fire can happen underwater. As far as explode, well, I mean, yes, technically an explosion can happen underwater because they use missiles to blow up submarines and
dumb.
stuff.
Well, now I sound dumb. All right,
Yeah.
Travis. Now it's the question to see who's the real dumb one. Which one was which one was the fake news out of the four? And I can remind you of the ones if you want. And then also
what was
give
the
it,
first one again?
and then also give a description about why you think it's the wrong one. So there's Tony Hawk's Skate Jam was the
Okay.
first one,
Okay, so
and then Monopoly the movie, Cruella de Vil the movie, and Hot Wheels the movie.
you know, I'm honestly gonna have to go with Monopoly on this one. I think that's just too far fetched for me to conceive to be like anybody to think of it as a movie.
You excited to see Kevin Hart in the Monopoly movie?
It would be an interesting take on it, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Because
Yeah.
he's small and whiny. So I mean, like having him, what would he be, Mr. Monopoly? That'd be interesting.
Maybe he's the young man.
He looks like no, because remember he already died. He was the pixie they found in North Dakota.
What?
Oh, you never saw that meme on Facebook?
Oh no, I guess not.
Oh, they found the remains of a skeleton, and it was very, very.
Oh yeah, that's the one Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
yeah, he said rest
shared.
in peace, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they very found his remains, so he couldn't even do it.
I guess he's Mr. Monopoly then.
Okay,
Maybe.
Well.
You're wrong.
I am wrong.
Monopoly is gonna be made, so look forward to that being made. The wrong one was Hot Wheels the movie.
That, I mean, see, my only thing with that was how many of the animated ones they made, because they made a crap load, as I found out. I could almost see him doing it, but I guess it happens. I was wrong.
Yeah, fair is fair.
Yep.
All right. Take your
Shots
shot.
we go.
Yep. All right, now we're going to talk about the big movie that came out this week, which is Captain Marvel, starring Brie Larson. How is that, Travis?
I forgot how spicy that was.
Um,
Oh,
It's kind of like a Fireball kind of drink because it's a spice rum. Do you like it more or less than Fireball?
it's a bit like kicks you a bit more, like just on first taste.
Yeah.
I guess I'd probably take Fireball just because less of a kick.
Yeah, fair enough. All right,
Let's
Captain
wash that
Marvel
down.
just came out this weekend, so by the time we release it, it'll be a couple days after the movie came out. But yeah, pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah,
honestly, I really loved it.
yeah, good movie. So yeah, let's talk everything about it. And for this, we're doing spoilers, right?
We will be doing a few. We're gonna try to keep it to a minimum, but no promises.
Yeah, we'll try to be vague on some things, but we might screw up at some point. So
Yeah.
if you really don't want to be spoiled, wait till you after you see it.
Yep.
So right from the beginning, something that I was like, "Well done, Marvel," was the Marvel intro. It always plays at the beginning,
It was, and it was Stanley freaking like
every
all-
part.
Oh
Like,
crap! I just that's a spoiler in itself. But yes,
What?
mentioning Stanley.
Oh,
yeah.
it's a minor thing. It doesn't affect
Yeah.
the movie.
No,
but
it doesn't.
Marvel does a nice tribute with Stan Lee.
It was a nice tribute, and it, like they incorporate every single one of his cameos he's ever done, which I thought was like really awesome. I like that.
I thought I saw the Deadpool cameo, but I could have been wrong. I don't know if they can use cameos from our
Well,
movies.
they can now.
Oh yeah, 'cause
They own Fox.
Yeah, they own everything now. Yeah, fair enough.
They're gonna just buy everything, so they can just use whatever they want now.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, actually, later on.
All right. Cool. So, what's the story, Captain Marvel? Let's give a quick description of the movie before we talk about what we like, didn't like, stuff like that. I'll take my shot while you talk.
Yeah, that's your cup. So, I guess as you could say, it kind of follows the a bit of the taste good. It scrolls the timeline of the what was it, the Scroll Wars or the Kree Wars? The Secret Invasion. Sorry.
Yeah, Secret Invasion, the Kree Skrull War.
But of course it's a little bit different because it doesn't follow the comic to a T. So it's got its own story to it. It follows, of course, Captain Marvel as she
was a airline pilot and
Air Force.
Air Force pilot. She loses her memory. She doesn't really remember who she was, and she becomes Captain Marvel.
Well, she becomes a warrior.
A warrior for the Kree army.
But eventually, by the end of the movie, of course, she becomes Captain Marvel.
And what's kind of interesting is they have her be part of the Kree, who we last saw on Guardians of the Galaxy, which is kind of interesting because they put this in the 90s. So I don't know if you noticed, but they were able to take characters from Guardians of the Galaxy who died or were used and just bring them back here.
That's spoiler.
A little bit of spoiler. Well, we're doing kind of spoilers.
Yeah, but yeah, you are right. They can use characters, and they did, and that was a really cool touch, I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, overall, it's kind of I guess she's a warrior for the Kree.
Yeah.
And has to come to terms with, first of all, using her powers and becoming the hero that she intends to be in life.
Yeah, and to become Captain Marvel, but also dealing with this war that's happening. And without going into too much detail, there's some twists that happen that we kind of see one side's the good guys, one side's the bad side. But with like any war, there's good and bad to both sides. There's no good guys and bad guys to war.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, all you really have is who comes out on top, who's the winner, who's the loser. I mean, technically, each side sees themselves as the hero, you could say, of a war. And then, like, at the end of it, like, technically there are no, like, bad guys and good guys. It's just a war, and then whoever comes out on top at the end.
Yeah. And good supporting cast around her, too. We got... Because we were able to go back, we have Samuel L. Jackson returning as a younger Nick Fury. He was really probably the best part of the movie. He's great.
I in comparison to Brie Larson, like the two of them, like, were, for me at least, like hand in hand. I couldn't honestly decide which I liked better.
Well, I think they just worked well in general because they kind of had like different personalities, and one was a SHIELD agent from Earth, and Brie Larson was playing the warrior from the Kree planet, and they just kind of worked very well with each other, and Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson just did very well with each other, good chemistry.
Yeah.
And
actually, you know what? One of my favorite parts, even though it was a little bit of an off part, they even managed to bring back Agent Coulson.
Agent Coulson! Thank you for bringing that up.
The man who's died and not died.
Is he dead? I don't know.
You'll have to ask Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for that question.
Apparently he's dead now again.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He'll probably come back later.
Yeah, probably. That man, yeah. No, I remember the early days of Marvel before they were kind of figuring everything out, and Phil Coulson would show up like almost every movie.
Yeah, up until, what was it, Avengers?
The first Avengers.
Yeah, he would
so
show up.
It was great to have him back.
Oh, it was, and he was like in supportive of like being like an underling to Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury. Like they also the two of them will work really well together, like they did in the first movies.
Yeah, the only complaint would be just like he wasn't in it enough. But when he was in it, I was like, "Yeah, Phil Coulson, baby, he's back. He's not dead. Is he dead? Is he alive? Is he still dead? I don't know."
But technically, this was the future, so he was alive back then, very much alive.
Like the future
or the past? Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Back to the past.
Days of Future Past. It's become an X-Men timeline.
In a way.
Actually, no, it's not going to be that confusing.
No, it really isn't. And actually, like, following the story up to, like, how, like Nick Fury becomes part of the Avengers and leads the team, like, this adds a lot to it. So,
yeah,
it was really good.
Of our supporting characters, we have Jude Law, who I don't really want to spoil who he really is, but he is a trainer to Captain Marvel.
Yeah, he's like her commander, right?
Yeah, he's like the commander. He trains her. He's the one that kind of brought her into the Kree because she's a full human.
Yeah, he even gave her blood a bit so she
could
survive.
Yeah, some blood to survive because she's like now kind of a mixture between the two.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, Jude Law, he's a great actor. Yeah, he's good in here.
Actually, who else was part of their? They had a whole team. Who
Yeah,
else was part of that? Because they had the guy
they
with the swords. I can't.
there's oh yeah, that was the hunter dude, not the prowler, the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy who hunts. He
Yes.
kind of like tracks people. That's his thing,
Yeah.
and he was part of that group.
Yeah. He used to be part of the Kree Empire,
Yeah,
and he was
before
a.
he kind of broke off probably and became a mercenary. Is that what he
I
was?
believe he was. Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe he was part of a mercenary.
and it was also this Kree girl who was kind of like the sniper of the group.
Yes, I forget the actress that played her, but she was actually really good.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Definitely enjoyed her character.
Like all the part of the Kree mercenary group, they're not using it a lot because
They're actually just soldiers, not mercenaries. Just
oh yeah,
to
whatever.
inform you.
The warriors, yeah, they're all good. And then there's like a guy with a big beard who's kind of like the tank.
Yeah, and a couple other fighters you don't really notice as much, but even they add a lot to their group.
But yeah, what's kind of interesting about this movie is that it's kind of like a military-ish movie because it focuses on war, but it focuses on the Kree. We also follow the Skrulls. We follow the military that's on Earth because Captain Marvel used to be part of the Air Force on Earth, but now she's part of the Warriors on the Kree planet. So that's kind of interesting.
It does, and like even though it is a kind of a little bit of a war-based movie, it's set in outer space, which of course makes it 10 times more awesome
Yeah.
because spaceships, laser guns, plasma rifles, all the good stuff.
And with this movie, and we're going to talk about the controversy to this movie later, but some of the people complained about early on when the trailers came out was how she was wearing a green suit compared to what she's usually uses in the comics, her red, yellow, and blue uniform. I like the green uniform too.
No, it wasn't. And of course, being a Kree soldier, it matched the attire like
Yeah.
that she was supposed to be wearing, and it was a cool suit.
Hmm.
Like honestly, I would wear that on a daily basis if I could, because
Yeah, that's a cool uniform.
yeah, like screw my regular clothes.
Yeah, yeah, screw that. But yeah, no, good. And what else are we going to talk about? Stan Lee has a cameo in it. It's not really that much a spoiler. He's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Sadly, one of his last cameos.
It was
but
well, it was. I wouldn't say it was his best cameo because he didn't talk that much, did he?
no, so he shows up on a bus. It's a Stan Lee. It's not a big spoiler. Something I wanted to tell you. He's reading a script and he's talking to himself. He's reciting lines. He's reading a script to the movie Mallrats, which Stan Lee, of course, is famous for doing cameos in Marvel films, but he does make a larger role. And I'll show you the scene later. But in a movie called Mallrats, Kevin Smith, who's the director, is a big comic book fan. He got him for this movie. That one of the characters in that movie, he runs into Stan Lee, and they talk about women and life. And unlike a Marvel cameo that's like 10 seconds long, he's in this scene for like 4 or 5 minutes, and he's kind of
Oh,
giving his comic book wisdom and knowledge to this character of how to like deal with his girlfriend and try to get back together with her.
that's
And
really cool. I'll have to check that out.
yeah, you should, because it's interesting. Because Stanley's kind of known for his white hair, clean face, and everything. But in this, he's got like a dark beard, and he has like a lot of lines. And he's actually he's a really good actor. He's in it for like 4 or 5 minutes, but he does a great job in it. But I kind of thought that was interesting in the scene he's reading the script to that movie. What other characters in it that we want to talk about? We have her airline
Air
before.
Force
Yeah, sure. The Air Force pilot she used to work with together,
and daughter.
and her daughter,
Her old, I guess, a kind of a mentor, the scientist, the
the scientist. Which, if you have just with the trailers alone, you don't know who she is, but she's kind of integral to the plot in the movie. But
Yeah.
there's a good amount of side supporting characters in this film, and they all do good in
yeah.
their role. Are any not used well or not used enough? Probably Phil Coulson not used enough, just because we love him so much.
Yeah, him. There was a couple of scrolls that I wish they'd used a little bit more, because they were actually kind of like pretty
Yeah, let's
good.
talk to Skrulls. So Skrulls, if you don't know the comics, they're this green alien race. They got pointy like elf ears, green skin, and their thing is what makes them dangerous is that they can ship shape to be anyone they want. So
Yeah, they can even match your DNA,
yep, they
and
know some of your memories.
a certain to a certain point. They can't go all out on your memories, but
Yeah, they can only remember like recent memories
yeah,
or something. But yeah, and it's used very well here because I always thought the scrolls are very interesting because they're not just another like blue or skin race. They're this cool looking alien race that can change their shape, and that's what makes them dangerous. And that's what an integral point to the Secret Invasion comic book line is, because they start taking over people on Earth, including the president and different members of the Avengers.
It is even at one point they create the Super Scrolls.
Yeah, the Super Scrolls, who not only they can take the looks of someone, they can take the powers of someone. And there's some of them that have like the powers of like multiple Avengers, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Which is something I kind of want to see in this movie.
I did. I'm not gonna lie, I really did. But for what they use the scrolls with in this movie, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I just hope this isn't the last time we see them, because they kind of end on a good note for the Scrolls, which makes them interesting because they're not just one note bad guys. They're not the alien bad guys we're supposed to exterminate, which is good.
You're
But
spoiling a lot.
yeah, well, fuck you. And so, without going into too much detail, as I already gone into, hopefully we'll see more of them. They're not gone by any stretch.
Yeah, because they could come back at any time. And actually, to be honest, if they choose to, they could be, or a different division of scrolls could be villains if they really wanted to.
And some people have said, even before this movie came out, how about if they're still here? Because this movie takes place in the 90s. Someone said on, I think it was a YouTube or a Facebook comment, and I was like, huh, that makes sense. How about someone like Tony Stark is a scroll?
Yeah, honestly, any person, especially if there are such thing as the Super Scrolls in this universe, anybody in this universe could be.
Yeah, how about if like the after credit scene or the last scene in the movie for like Avengers Endgame was one of the main characters, maybe one that his like contract's going up, like Chris Evans, Captain America, or Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. How about if they just turn into a scroll at the end?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because
But
then you could find a way to bring him back somehow, maybe.
I don't foresee it being Tony Stark mainly because he's stuck out in outer space.
Oh yeah, true.
So that one would be kind of off. But anybody in that room, like Ant-Man, Captain America, Black Widow, maybe even.
What character out of all the Avengers, if they were like, they've been a scroll this whole time, would you be like, that's good, I can get on board with that?
You know, honestly, one I would kind of like to see, especially being a Super Scroll, the Hulk.
I was actually going to say the Hulk, but for a different reason. Go into your reason.
Well, it's because, of course, they found him supposedly on the alien planet, and that's where Thor brought him, started his process of bringing him back to Earth. So, in any amount of time between the time he left Earth and the time he got to the garbage planet, I forget the name.
Oh, the one where they have a fight or whatever? The
Yes,
Gladiator
yeah.
Arena planet? Yeah.
I forget the name of it.
Xanathar or...
Yeah.
No, that's the Guardians of the Galaxy one. Whatever, who cares?
Anyway, but that planet, he could have become a scroll at any point because, of course, like anybody could have kidnapped him or anything. He wasn't like, being himself really. So, like at any point, he could have become a scroll, and now he's back, and just like being able to like become a scroll at any point, that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, exactly. What I thought would be a good reason is that he's one of the few characters in Marvel Universe, unlike DC, where they keep switching out actors every 2 seconds. Like, Marvel can actually keep their actors, except the only one they haven't was the Hulk, because in the early 2000s they made an Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton from Fight Club, and because he was a little bit stubborn, I don't know if it was about money. I think it was just because he was very stubborn on the set of the Hulk, and he wanted things his way, and he wanted to write the script and change things up, for better or worse, because the Incredible Hulk isn't a great movie. But then they switched him out for the Avengers with Mark Ruffalo, who's a great Hulk. What I thought would be kind of funny is, how about if he was originally Edward Norton, and he takes the memories of the Hulk, and he's just like, I'm gonna just like take the look of this like nerdy looking dude with curly hair.
Yeah, because wasn't the Incredible Hulk, wasn't that technically the start of the new Marvel Cinematic Universe?
The new Hulk? Oh yeah,
The,
I know what you're saying.
The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk. No, it wasn't the first one. Iron Man was the first.
But so that came after Iron Man?
Yeah,
That movie?
because the after credit scene cameo was Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man showing up in a bar with the General from the Incredible Hulk, who's also in Captain America: Civil War.
Oh, okay, yep.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm making this team. I gotta find this Hulk guy." And that's kind of the only inclusion of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in that movie, the after credit scene.
Yep.
So that is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, kind of, because the only character from that that's still remaining is the General and Hulk, obviously, but different actor.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense.
Even the Hulk character is kind of designed differently. But yeah, the Hulk would be a good character to use. I was kind of thinking Black Widow would be kind of interesting.
It would be because she's kind of like that supporting, kind of hold the team together, kind of glue person. So if she turns out to be a scroll, that'd be interesting because the team might fall apart and the Avengers would be like not nearly as powerful and as incredible as they are.
Yeah. So let's go back to Captain Marvel. What really worked for us? What didn't work for us? What do we want to see going forward? Can this movie open up to a sequel, or are we good with her just showing up in future movies? Because apparently she was signed to like a 7-movie contract, like most of these Marvel actors are.
Honestly, I would love to see her in more movies. She was
Yeah.
a great Captain Marvel. I really, really liked her, and I'm to this point, I'm still debating whether I liked her this Captain Marvel movie or the Wonder Woman movie more because of course both were female-led superhero movies and both were really really good
Yeah.
for different reasons of course.
Yeah.
So I'm still in the debate process of which one I liked more.
Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. And just like you said, I like them for different reasons. They're not the same movie. They have different positive traits and, or maybe negative traits too. For me, what do I want to see? I kind of just want to see her show up in future movies. Like she's gonna be in Avengers Endgame. The good thing about her being in the 90s when this movie starts is that they can do sequels without any problem because they could just be like, this next movie takes place in 1995 or whatever.
Yeah, and also of course most of hers would take in outer space, which would have no impact on our Earth.
Exactly.
So she could really do as many movies as she wanted and not have any real issues, except for maybe meet up with Guardians of the Galaxy or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, they could do that. Oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. Well, I guess some of the the Guardians of the Galaxy weren't a team by the 90s. Or
No,
you
but
mean present day?
yeah, they could. She could literally come up to right before the Guardians of the Galaxy even started, like
Yeah.
becoming a team. Like so, she could really jump in at any point. But yeah, if they
Yeah.
wanted to make movies all the way back into the '90s, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be. And that's what I find interesting about doing these Marvel movies is just take something and make it different. Ant-Man tried to do a heist movie. Guardians of the Galaxy was the first space movie. This is a mixture of space and Earth, military movie that focuses on the war more. It's interesting doing these new things. It's kind of like Wonder Woman, how it took place in the 70s or whatever. Now it's the next one's going to take place in the 80s. This one was the 90s. It's good trying new things. Like, you don't have to all make them the same decade.
Yeah, exactly, and it can add a lot just to the story, like the story that they've already created by putting it in the past. So that's kind of a
If they
cool.
make a sequel, can they do any more on Earth, or does it have to be in space?
I think it would have if they do anything before the Avengers. If they do anything after the Avengers was created, I think they could do it on Earth. But anything before, they'd probably have to do it in space, just for the fact that she's already left to, or she will be leaving. Spoilers that she'll be leaving Earth to go back
Yeah.
into outer space.
Yeah, so on the what you were saying, the Wonder Woman versus Captain Marvel argument, there's no need to compare the movies
No,
at all. They're both good in their own rights, and I think they're doing a good job because they're introducing a powerful female-led character to a major company and universe. They're kind of inspiring young girls to go out and see a female on screen kicking ass, and both did well in different ways. So it's good for seeing movies like this, and soon we're gonna see a Black Widow movie at some point. There's a lot of news with that. The news that's coming out about this Black Widow movie is kind of weird, but Marvel always gets their shit together, unlike DC. So, because there's rumors it might not star Scarlett Johansson, they might cast someone different to make it a young Black Widow.
I mean technically they could because
Yeah.
in reality there have been many Black Widows throughout the years.
Yeah.
So and even in the Marvel comics, there's been I know of a
Wouldn't
minimum
it be
of
weird
two.
though if they make a Black Widow movie that doesn't star Scarlett Johansson?
I guess
Like this whole time we've been complaining there's no female led characters in the Marvel Universe. When is Black Widow going to get a movie? And then Scarlett Johansson's not even the character in that movie. But something that does make sense is something they said is they want to do a movie that focuses on her origin when she was training in the not the army, like the Black Widow Academy.
I guess in the movie, even if they do use a different actress, as long as they put Scarlett Johansson in by the end of the movie, at
Yeah.
least as a cameo, so that we know what she'll become in the future.
Would you see a Black Widow movie that was her and a young, different actor, Hawkeye, together? Because they do talk about them working together in Budapest.
That'd be kind of a cool movie, I think, because that would be them as assassins, even though I don't particularly think Disney would do that. But that'd be them as actual physical assassins when they used to be. So
Yeah, make it in like the veins of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, that kind of spy thriller movie. That would be kind of cool. But other female-led characters are coming out. There's that Birds of Prey movie that they are working on for DC. We'll see if that's good or not. Besides that, that's kind of it from what I know. But it's good we're getting some more female-led characters on screen, especially ones that are very well done, such as Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel.
yeah,
What else could we talk about?
well,
Goose is a character in this. It's a cat. We're not going to talk too much about that, but yeah,
very entertaining cat. I will say that.
and Samuel L. Jackson
Oh,
has
yeah.
great chemistry with everyone in this movie, include the cat.
Yeah, he grows very fond of the cat, which is kind of nice. 'Cause
Yeah, he's better chemistry with a cat than most of the romantic love interests in DC movies.
I'll credit you on that one. That is.
uh, yeah, whatever characters. All right, so
I guess in reality, the one critique I'd have for Captain Marvel was, I believe there was a couple of scenes where I guess you could say it was kind of more of a comedy based movie, and there was a couple of scenes where they tried to show a lot of emotion and like a lot of how do I describe this? They tried to put
deep scenes, kind
yeah,
of.
very deep and thought out scenes. But the problem is when they did it, they almost, because of all the comedy that had been previously, they almost felt forced. Like they were really trying to push it
That's
on
something
you.
I don't really care about these new Marvel movies, is that they kind of push like the comedy aspect to it
Yeah,
too much. That's why I'm a big fan of Winter Soldier, because there's not a ton of comedy in that. They just go with it. A lot of DC movies, for most part, except for newer ones, they don't focus on comedy so much, and it's fine doing comedy. Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of a straight up comedy action adventure in space, and it's very well done. But some movies in the Marvel universe, they kind of push the comedy too far. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, there's a lot of, they just kind of push a joke every second and ruins all the deep, meaningful scenes. I don't think it's as Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it's not the same as Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel isn't as bad as Guardians of the Galaxy 2, in my opinion, in terms of ruining big moments with just comedy every 2 seconds. But I get what you're saying.
yeah. I mean, there was a couple emotional scenes that were decent in this movie, but there was a few that they just felt almost like they had to push it on you just to get you to get the point across. And I get what you're saying. It was due to the fact that they probably pushed the comedy too far. But as I see it, had they just left it a completely comedy, like comical movie, I think they
Yeah.
would have been fine.
Okay.
And had not any like real deep emotional scenes.
My complaints are the fight scenes. Like, there's a point in the film that she gets her characters, she unlocks her power, she goes Super Saiyan, and it's great. She's just blasting characters around, punching them across the room. Some good scenes of her flying around in space in combat. There's a couple times in the film different characters are in hand to hand combat. Samuel L. Jackson is in a hand to hand fight with a scroll at one point. She's in a couple of hand to hand brawling fights, and I don't know, they just don't seem good. Like, I just look at me. I just watch so much action scenes, but like, there's a lot of cutting, a lot of shaky cam. It kind of looks like they use as much of the actors as they can, but there's a lot of stunt doubles as you're seeing characters from the back of the head a lot. For me, the hand to hand combat in this film isn't that good in my opinion, but that's not like it's not like the Raid film. It's not like it's a film made of just hand to hand fight scenes, but all of her action scenes are pretty good. That was just a little quibble.
I think up until like the moment she unlocked her power, like her full power, and was able to go all out, I think up until that point, I didn't much care for any of the fight scenes.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. It
But
was when she went Super Saiyan. Is that when the fight scenes got really fun and really good?
yeah, because like she was just using all of her power to its fullest potential, and that I really liked because honestly, in reality, she was almost OP in
Yeah.
comparison to like all of the other characters.
Yeah, because like DC has a lot of OP characters because it's all like Superman, Wonder Woman, the Flash, all have the same powers. But Marvel characters are more grounded, kind of. They're all good at what they do, except they're not super powerful. Even Hulk has weaknesses because he's just like a mindless Hulk.
Yeah.
creature. But yeah, I would agree. She's kind of like at this point in time, she's gonna be the most OP character.
Yes, at this point in time. And like especially in this particular movie where the character she was up against, because she wasn't up against any real superpowered humans
Oh yeah,
or even superpowered aliens.
yeah.
So
Does that help or hurt the film?
actually, I thought I kind of enjoyed that because
Yeah,
it was mainly focusing on her rather than a group like of the Avengers or anything like that. So
sure.
I kind of liked it for that reason.
And I didn't need another movie with the villain being the complete opposite, but with the same power set.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man, he was always going up against somebody in an Iron Man like suit. Ant Man, the first one, he's up against another shrinking character.
Captain America goes up against Red Skull, his exact opposite.
Yeah, a lot of these guys go up. It's a comic book thing. Characters go up against opposite. Batman goes up against a Joker. Well, it's not exactly the same, but
I mean, I guess
different power, like same power set, but like different characters. But this, like, who she goes up against aren't like her.
they aren't. But of course, she starts out as not being nearly as powerful as she is. So in a fight to begin with, she's very, very weak and not nearly as powerful as most of the people. It's once she unlocks her full potential that's when she's able to destroy anybody in this like in the whole movie without like question.
Yeah. So, all right. So yeah, good movie. Let's let's talk about this. Let's talk about the controversy. This dumb or not dumb controversy around this movie. Do you know the controversy around this movie or no?
Vaguely, very
Okay.
vaguely. I try not to listen to controversy because it bores me.
And also, like, you don't want to go into a movie with like your thoughts on something else that might make the movie worse for you, even if it's not, or better, or whatever.
Yeah,
So the controversy over this film is really dumb. It's that Brie Larson is a proud feminist, and that's totally fine. Some people have problems with her being like really proud feminist, and apparently there's a quote that was going around. I've looked this up, it's not true, to an extent that people are complaining, and by people, I mean men, that she said to an extent around the quote was something like she doesn't want like a male reviewer came in to talk to her about the movie in like a sit down junket for one of her movies, and she was like, I don't want you to interview me because you're just another white male reviewer. I want to have more females interview me. I don't want another white male. I've looked this up, it's not true. She, to a bunch of different people, she said that she wanted more females to be critics and reviewers because she wanted, like, if people were talking about A Wrinkle in Time, which is an all female character, she was kind of bored of white males coming up to her and interviewing her about it. She wanted to see more females being critics and reviewers. So she didn't say she didn't want males to critique or review movies or talk to her about the movie. So that kind of got blown out of proportion. And Brie Larson is a proud feminist, which is totally fine. But because I'm a part of a bunch of different Marvel groups on Facebook, so I like talking about these movies. Very good. I love this comic book universe. But this movie, before this movie came out, it became very toxic within the community. I don't know how you say you don't know what to talk about. That's good. You don't want to go into other thoughts going on. But the big thing with this was that Rotten Tomatoes that rates movies, when a movie comes out, there's two reviews. There's the audience review and there's the critic review. Sometimes, most times they're around the same. Sometimes they're not. Venom, for example, had a poor critic review. Audiences really liked it. Sometimes the audience rating will like a movie or not like as much as the critic review. Most times they're on the same. But before a movie comes out, there is the audience, how much they want to see a movie. It's kind of dumb because who cares if the audience wants to see a movie or not? But most times a rating for this is very high because if people don't know the movie's going to be bad or good, they usually rate it high because they want to see the movie. Before this movie, even 2 weeks ago, came out, people were bombing this movie, saying they did not want to see it because I don't know, because they thought she was super
feminist,
feminazi, I guess they would say, which she's not really. And then some people are like, "Well, I don't think that it's not. It's just I don't think the trailers are very good. I don't want to see it. It's a Marvel movie. We're gonna go see it. I would see Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I saw the trailer. And I was like, huh, this just looks kind of bland. But really, who cares? But the thing is that Rotten Tomatoes got rid of that score, the audience wants to see score, which kind of pissed people off more because they're like, you're taking our right to review something away. The audience review scale is still a thing, and for Captain Marvel, it's very bad, even though most of the reviews came in before the movie came out. The critic rating is good. It's not outstanding good, but it's a good rated. The audience rating is like pretty mediocre. IMDb, which you can rate movies, is not just a critic review site. It's only audience based. It's very poor. Before this movie came out, as soon as people were able to vote on this movie, it got bombed super hard. And some people have been kind of complaining about it and kind of wish different places can fix it. But also people have been complaining that certain companies shouldn't be fixing it, like Rotten Tomatoes changing the want to see rating. And also recently there's reports that Rotten Tomatoes been getting rid of a lot of the audience review scale, saying that a lot of the reviews are just troll reviews and people aren't actually seeing the movie and actually giving an honest review. They're just basing it before the movie came out, which is true. But then people are complaining they're taking Rotten Tomatoes and other companies are taking their rights away to review things. That's a controversy with this movie. Luckily, this movie's making money. Captain Marvel has been making a lot of money. No matter how many times I've seen people complain, going, "Oh, I'm not going to see it because of Brie Larson." This movie's making money, and people are seeing that, and it's good. But to not see a film over it is kind of stupid, or to review bomb it is the main thing that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I'll say that's being a bit harsh and picking on
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, just because she's an active feminist. That's also being very harsh because, of course, like in comparison to some of the women I've seen, of course, I've never heard anything that bad about her, and she's a great actress.
Yeah.
I mean, so
That's another thing. Also, a lot of people were complaining about her acting in the trailers and stuff, and I just saw so much toxic people like talking about this film. It's been really annoying to see. I'm glad people are going out and seeing it, and people are enjoying it, and critics are liking it. Everyone's liking it. It's making money. I'm just glad for it to be over. And I made a joke about it on Facebook. I was just saying, when has the Marvel community got more toxic than the DC ones? Because DC used to be the ones that would bitch and complain about like Batman, Superman, and other movies just getting bombed by critics. But especially with like Suicide Squad and stuff, there's reasons your movie bombed critically.
yeah, I mean, they're
They're
definitely
not on the hunt for you. It's not like Disney owns them.
no, they don't. And to be fair, though, even though I do respect those movies for trying,
Yeah, and I will go on and say, and we'll talk about it in a future episode. I like Batman, Superman, but yeah, keep going.
but none of them were spectacular movies. None of them, honestly, in reality, except for with the exception of Wonder Woman and Aquaman, for me at least, none of them were on par with really Marvel.
And no one's given Captain Marvel good reviews to look better for the feminist community. They're giving good ratings because it's a good movie. It's well made, acting's good, characters have good dialogue between the two. There's some faults in it, but like any movie, it's not like Suicide Squad that there's like constant issues of directing, writing, especially the writing's horrible in Suicide Squad. Just like editing. But yeah, going back to that, this controversy's it's dumb. I'm just glad people are going out there seeing it, and also, it's not like the movie's pushing an agenda, good or bad, if you support it or not. The movie's making a film that anyone can go see. We're males, we enjoy it. There's plenty of males in the theater that enjoy it. It shows that females can struggle like anyone, and that they can push themselves to get back up. And there's a great scene in the film that we see Brie Larson as an adult, as I think it's a teenage girl, as a little girl, different parts of her life, her always get knocked down, but she always get back up, and that's inspiring for young girls that go and see the film.
Actually, that was one out of all the really kind of emotional scenes. That was the only one I really, really enjoyed.
It's a great scene.
Yeah, just because watching her stand back over and over again, despite how many people, in particularly males, in this point of view, telling her she can't do it, and her standing back up and trying again. It's inspiring. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. It's inspiring.
Yeah, to anyone, get back up. If you get pushed down and people are putting you down, get back up.
Yeah.
And a little girl will go see it, or even like any little kid that goes see it. That's good.
Yeah, no, that's actually incredible. And that one scene alone, I'd go see it just for that.
Just for that one scene. Agreed. All right, so out of our trash talk rating scale, which is 1 to 6, 1 being trash, 2 being I was bored or something. I forget my own rated. 3 being it was entertaining. 3 very entertained. 4 being I liked it. 4.5 being I really liked it. 5 I loved it. 5.5 I really loved it. 6 being I worship the movie. What are we giving it?
Honestly, I'm gonna give this a 5. It's not my top 10, but it's definitely up there, and I genuinely enjoyed this movie no matter what anyone
There's a lot of
says.
Marvel movies. There's like 20 so odd movies. Where do you put it in the top? Or like is it like the middles or like the upper half, the bottom half?
Definitely upper half. I mean,
Upper half, okay.
bottom half would be somewhere down around Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
So this is up. This is up near Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I really liked it. It's gonna be in the upper half for me. It's not gonna be in the middle. It's definitely not gonna be in the lower half. It's good. It's very well acted. Characters do very well with each other. It's a good movie. We definitely recommend it. And of course, everyone's gonna go see it. It's a Captain Marvel movie. Even if some people say they're not gonna go see it, well, apparently that's a lie, or people are gonna go see it multiple times because it's doing very well.
Honestly, I genuinely think the people who said they were never going to see it are probably the people who are going to see this the most. Because in reality, they're going to watch it once just to know what happens, and then they're going to probably watch it again because they enjoyed it.
Exactly. They're gonna go in there with a bad mindset, and then they're gonna turn around and they're gonna see it again because they had a fun time.
Yep. So one of the things I forgot to mention, and this is all about because it's in part an alien war movie, which, like I said, is kind of cool. I did notice something.
What?
And that's the fact that it always seems that aliens have a tendency, no matter what movie franchise they're from, Disney, Universal, anything, Pixar, they always attack America.
Yep. They're like China or Australia, any other continent or country. Nah, we're gonna go invade New York or Washington D.C. again.
Yeah, and
Not in the case of this movie, but they do go to America again.
yeah, exactly. America, actually, I think it was L.A. was one of the biggest like places, and they're just going to invade it because it's America. Let's invade that motherfucker.
Exactly. No, it's true. Aliens just want to attack America. That's it.
Yeah.
And they don't know which country is the best or worst to attack. And America is probably the worst place to attack.
Actually, it'd be kind of well. I mean, the military we have is pretty good, but in comparison to aliens, we're not anything special.
Yeah, true.
So it'd be a decent place to attack.
But every time they're like, "Yeah, that one looks good. I like the shape. I like the round shape of that."
Yeah, let's go destroy it.
Yeah, so that's good. All right, so if you're watching this show, feel free to give us an email at trashtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought about Captain Marvel, and if you send us an email, we'll read it for the next podcast or two or whatever. Or you can tweet us at trashtalkpod, I believe is the Twitter handle. But yeah, let's take a shot before we move on to our last segments. Bada bing, bada boom. True story. With alcohol in college, I drank a lot, but I spilled all over my beard. And from what I've been told, people told me that I drank the alcohol out of my beard.
That actually sounds pretty awesome.
Some people say it's really gross.
Well, you gotta remember the beard is the flavor saver. So whenever you drop a bit of food and it goes down into your beard, you can pick it out later and have a snack.
Yeah, exactly.
So the same works with alcohol as I see it.
Yeah.
Of course, we both have beards, just to inform everybody.
Yeah. Originally, this podcast was going to be beard bros drinking beer, but then we're going to have a friend of ours be on the show who didn't have a beard. He's not really on the show now because he never shows up.
Also, he moved out of state. Which
he also
didn't
moved
help.
out of state. Yeah. But yeah. All right. So we're not going to do a comic of the week or game of the week this week, but we will for next week's episode with Mike from Games My Mom Found with the Castlevania episode. But we'll do one movie a show. We'll do junk mail. We'll also do some Duke It Out and Puke It Out. Actually, I lied. We're not doing that because we don't have enough people for that. Yep. All right. So, one movie a show. What have you been watching? What do you recommend the audience or me? Or what have you been playing? What's been up with you, Travis?
So, my recommendation this week for a TV show is going to be the show Lucifer, which I do believe is a DC, is it?
It's a DC character, yeah.
DC character.
I think it's just one of those characters that's not used within the universe that much, but he's owned by DC.
Technically owned by DC, but overall, from what I just started the second season of the show, and I absolutely loved it. And like I've never been very particular on like the Christian Bible or God and the demons, hell,
Yeah,
whatnot.
not super religious or anti-religious.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, I've never been particular. But no, I really love the show. I love all the actors in it so far, and it's really incredible, and it does make you kind of think a bit. So definitely a recommendation.
Who makes Lucifer?
I actually can't remember. Not
No,
ABC.
I was about to say it's ABC because from what I remember, I was like, is it ABC or is it Fox? I could be wrong though.
Might be Fox or FX.
Well, if it's Fox, it would be canceled already.
Yeah, it made it to a second season, so it can't be Fox.
Yeah. All right. So for me, what I've been watching recently is I've been playing Red Dead Redemption. I recently finished Red Dead Redemption 2, which is kind of like a movie because of how cinematic it is. The game is amazing in terms of a lot of things, especially graphics or just all the mechanics within it. It outshines a lot of games, but not just that. It outshines a lot of games in terms of story. It's kind of like a really, really, really long movie. And like I was telling you earlier, at the end of the game made me cry at points, made me want to stand up and clap. Just an amazing film from a cinematic view as well. But we also talked about games during this. But in terms of movies or show, I've been watching Umbrella Academy recently. I can't talk too much about it because I haven't finished it, but I think is it gonna be a week or 2 weeks from now? We will have a Umbrella Academy review of the Netflix show. But it's kind of like a X-Men ish kind of. It's made by Gerald Way, I believe. He is the singer of. Oh no, I'm gonna screw this up. It's one of those like gothy bands, like My Chemical Romance or something. Not a band I would listen to, but apparently he's a comic book writer and he's written multiple comics and he's good at it. And he wrote this Umbrella Academy book, which is like 6 or 7 siblings that were born with superpowers, and they were all adopted by this man who wanted to have a bunch of children with superpowers, and he kind of makes them into a team. And at least in the show, their father dies, and that's what brings them back together. I'm not sure about the comic. I will know more when I read the comics for our Umbrella Academy episode. But yeah, so far it's pretty good. It's got really good action scenes, good music, some good actors in it, and yeah, it's pretty fun. There's some quibbles I have of it that I will address in the episode review. What am I talking about? The show review. But yeah, pretty good, pretty fun. You gonna watch it?
Well, I have to now.
Yeah, you have to.
We're stuck doing an episode on it. I can't just
And-
be
And
knowledgeable.
if we have any female viewers out there, we're actually not gonna just make this a sausage party. We will have a female reviewer. We'll have my girlfriend Haley. She already finished the whole show. She had a great time with it, and she'll be talking the show with us. So stay tuned for that in a couple weeks. So now we're gonna end with some junk mail, which, like I said before, tweet us at Trash Talk Pod, or is it Trash Talk Podcast? I don't remember what the Twitter handle is. How does Twitter work? I don't know. Or just send us an email.
Maybe you'll figure it out one day.
Maybe one day. If you find me on my Twitter name, I actually have a rant where I go into why Twitter sucks and why it's horrible, and I rant about it for a while. Or you can send a email. Please do that instead. I don't know how Twitter works at trashtalkpodcast@gmail.com and send in any questions you want us to answer or debate questions, which will be fun for our Duke It Out or Puke It Out debate portion, which we can't do this week, but we will do for next week's episode. So, Travis, let's talk some junk mail. What are things DC can do to compete with the Marvel Universe? This question was sent in by Tanvir.
So I think at this point,
Besides, make a good movie. Well, I guess.
yeah, I mean, they've made good movies. There's no denying that. But I guess in reality, the best they could do is honestly start over. If they really want to compete, just start over new and redo everything.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's not even about making good movies anymore. So you can't make a cinematic universe when you lose Batman and Superman.
Yeah, and honestly, like they've just run the entire universe into the ground at this, their cinematic universe into the ground.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they can keep Gal Gadot, keep Aquaman. I don't know about the Flash and Cyborg, but if they're any good, keep them.
Yeah.
And just start over new. Just
Yeah.
restart everything.
Something that DC's president said recently, which actually kind of works, is that they're focusing less on let's make a team up movie, let's do a big universe thing, and they're just trying to focus on individual movies. Like Aquaman, it didn't have Superman come in and do a big cameo work with him. This Joker movie's come out that's going to be just about the Joker. There's other movies that DC's doing probably.
Yeah, so I mean, in reality, the way they're going now, like I said, as long as they do a complete restart
Oh,
from
Shazam.
the Shazam movie, as long as they do a complete restart from the beginning over, I think they'll do just fine. As long as they start small and then work their way up.
Yeah, that's the thing. They just started too big. You gotta start small. You gotta go.
But in comparison, like they knew what they were up against. They knew Marvel had already succeeded in what they had not done yet, so
Yeah.
that's why they were trying so hard and failed at doing
And
it.
Iron Man is a huge character for Marvel now, but people don't realize Iron Man wasn't a popular character when they made the first Iron Man movie. The movie made money. It's very good. Even now, Iron Man is good. But Iron Man, the character, wasn't a popular character compared to Captain America or Hulk or any of those characters when that came out. But they kind of jumped the shark, especially with making Justice League. But I think they're on the right track now. So hopefully that answers your question, Tanvir. Okay, next. Thoughts on the New Mutants, and this is why. So you remember that New Mutants trailer that came out a while ago and they never made another trailer for?
Yep, yeah, I do. And
It looked
it
kinda cool.
took a year for them to like actually announce that it was coming out or something.
So, no, so here's what it is. So it was supposed to come out last year.
Yes.
It's almost a year old where it was supposed to come out. And it got pushed due to reshoots. Sometimes that happens. That's okay. Recent news came out that the reshoots were supposed to happen because they wanted to add a whole new character to the movie. One of the main characters. Which I said a while ago. Here's the new Mutants news for this week. All those reshoots that are supposed to happen haven't happened yet. Do you know why? Apparently Fox has left it in the hands of the director and said, hey, you gotta do reshoots, but we'll give you 100% control over this. And he hasn't bothered to do it yet. Because apparently he's working on a show that he wants to get produced. He's like the producer or whatever. And they haven't even done that yet.
So they were supposed to do reshoots for a whole new character, and they haven't even added the new character yet.
Here's how big the reshoots are. It's supposed to be reshoots that will cover 50% of the movie.
So in reality, this show is probably never coming out, is what we're saying.
Yeah, this movie.
Oh, it's a movie. Oh,
yeah, it's a movie.
Okay.
Here's the other piece of news. At this point, even Fox is starting to give up. Originally, they're like, yeah, we're going to get this in theaters. We're excited about this. It's going to be good. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, this is interesting. It's a horror-based Mutants movie. This looks interesting.
Yeah, it seemed like a relatively mediocre, high-budget movie, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And they're going to just throw all this money down the drain.
No. They're planning on to put it either on Hulu, because Disney's going to own Hulu soon, or Disney Plus.
Oh, man.
Oh my god! Imagine making a big budget superhero movie and it doesn't even go to theaters.
Oh man, that's gonna be a blow right there.
Oh my god!
Even like just from the amount I saw from the trailer, it looked like they put a lot of effort into what they did, and now they're just gonna throw it on. Which I respect Hulu and everything. It's a good streaming service, but just throwing it on there, not bringing it out to the public like the way they want to.
Oh my god, it's so sad.
Oh,
I've also read interviews with the cast, and they're like, some of them are like, yeah, we can't say too much, but I'm excited to see the movie. Some people are like, yeah, I'm excited to see my character on this. There's one actor who's like, yeah, I don't know what happens with this movie. I don't know what's going on. They haven't told me anything.
It's just disappeared.
All right, so that's the question, Travis. What is your thoughts on New Mutants?
Honestly, from what I saw from the trailer, I kind of, even though I've never been a big horror fan, it looked fun. It looked exciting. It looked thrilling. And all the characters looked like something I'd want to enjoy seeing on the screen. So, like, honestly, had it come out when it was supposed to, or even now, I'd enjoy going to see it. But
I'm in the same boat. Like, I want to see new kinds of superhero films. A horror-based superhero film, that seems good. I don't know what's going on with this film at this point. I want to see it. I want it to be good. With all this news that's come out, can it be good?
I'd hope so. I really, because of how much time and effort they put into it, I really hope for it that it could be good, but I don't know at this point.
I don't know. All right, that's your thoughts. All right, last. Did you hear this news, Stress? So James Gunn is he's writing the Suicide Squad is what it's going to be called, which is the Suicide Squad 2.
Yep.
And for the most part, he's replacing most of the cast, which we talked about briefly at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty easy to do, because in the Suicide Squad, it's villains, they can all die at any point.
Or they could just be put in prison and get new ones.
Yeah, so I could see that.
Here's the news, Travis. So the news was that they were replacing Will Smith's character Deadshot, who was admittedly one of the best parts of Suicide Squad. Will Smith's charismatic.
He was, and like his chemistry with Marco Robbie was actually like kind of
Yeah.
incredible to an extent. So yeah, I mean, like those two together were a very big part of that movie. But
It-
honestly, if he's going to replace them, which he could do if he wanted to, I hope he can find somebody that's as good. Like,
so here's the thing. When that came out, they're looking to replace him because he's too busy or something. It could just be bullshit. Could
yeah,
be.
he's what is the genie?
Yeah, because
he's
he's too
blue.
busy making blue genie movies. Or whatever Bad Boy 3 or whatever he's working on right now.
Oh yeah, I heard about that coming out.
But I was like, when I heard that, I was like, simple fix. Replace the character. Get Deathstroke in there. We saw him in a brief cameo in Justice League. Deathstroke, the character, great character. He's in Arrow, but he's worked very well in the Justice League movie.
Actually, he was the only good part of Arrow.
He's the only good part of Justice League. Use that character. They're both, for the most part, humans with just very good fighting ability.
And
Just
also
use
his
that character.
suit is kind of special too.
Well, it's been confirmed what I wanted is not going to happen because they've recast Will Smith.
Oh, so they're doing a new Deadshot.
Yeah, they're doing a new Deadshot. Did you not hear about this?
No.
Okay, well, I guess this isn't bad. He's a good actor. Do you know Idris Elba?
Yeah, Iris Elba. Yeah,
Yeah, he's gonna be new Deadshot.
he's a good actor.
He's a good actor, but he's not this. He's like more serious than Will Smith.
He's more serious, and at the same time, like his chemistry with the other rest of the team. Because I'm assuming they're keeping Marco Robbie.
Margot Robbie and Deadshot, though, from what I hear, the only two characters that remain. Oh yeah, that's the other piece of news. Joel Kinnaman, who plays Rick Flag, who
Yes.
runs the Suicide Squad, you think he would be one of the characters that remains? No, he's out.
So just
No, Rick Flag is out, the character too.
oh, okay. So it's just Marco Robbie's
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, and that's it.
And Idris Elba's Deadshot. But even after that, they're getting rid of all of her characters and it's new characters.
Okay.
I don't know why they just didn't make a new character.
Wait. Are they replacing what's her name there? The main person. I can't remember.
Amanda Waller?
Amanda Waller. Yes.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay. Well, hopefully they don't because she was like the only kind of glue to the team.
Yeah.
But so
Idris Elba, good actor. It's gonna be weird because like Will Smith is more like funny, more big charisma guy. Idris Elba, very good actor. He's a very great actor, but he's like super serious. If it's a different tone of a movie, that would probably make sense. But it's gonna be weird seeing a new actor.
yeah, because like in reality, like Will Smith is very witty, and that's the whole kind of idea. Is the Suicide Squad? They're supposed to be very witty, very cunning, and relatively intelligent, and they're supposed to be amazing fighters. And like taking that, at least the wittiness away, at least a part of the wittiness, was kind of it could ruin the movie, or it could make it okay, I guess. But I don't know if it'll.
I don't think Idris Elba will ruin it because he's a good actor. I just think it's just weird. Like,
Yeah.
why didn't, I just thought they should just replace the character.
Well, I
put a
guess
new
it depends
character
on
in.
who they replace all the other characters with, because they're actually
Oh,
like.
they've actually said who they're doing.
Oh, do you
This
know?
is a rumor, but King Shark is going to be one of them.
You
Ooh, King Shark's actually kind of cool.
kind of a cool character, but I kind of liked Crocodile. He was pretty
King
good.
Shark, not King Shark. King Shark. Crocodile Man, Killer Shark, Killer Croc.
Killer Croc,
Yeah.
yes.
Also,
The rest of his name.
so King Shark is the biggest name, the one name people are like, yeah, that's dope. He's also on the Flash. There's a new Flash episode where King
Yes.
Shark fights Gorilla Grodd.
Oh,
It's that like it came out like last week. I want to see that episode. Apparently, it's good. But also, they have weird characters like Peacemaker, who I don't know a ton about, but also Polka Dot Man, who's a man who wears a leotard full of polka dots. I trust James Gunn as a director more than David Ayer, the director of the first one. So I'm hoping it's gonna be good. It's gonna be better than the first one at least.
hopefully, but
I think he's probably gonna do is he's probably just gonna make a weird assortment of characters so he could do Guardians of the Galaxy again since he was fired.
yeah, no, I mean, I could kind of see that. But I honestly, like, out of the last one, that was the only one I liked was the cast, because of course they
Yeah.
had El Diablo,
Yeah, El Diablo,
El Diablo, Killer Croc,
Katana,
Katana.
the
was a
guy
good-
with ropes. Oh
Yes.
no, okay, no, he's a good character. Captain Boomerang was actually pretty good.
Actually, yes, he was as well. I mean, I guess one I kind of want to see is Killer Frost. I kind of hope she makes an appearance.
Killer Frost,
because
yeah, from
she
the
was-
animated movie.
from the animated shoot, it was amazing, and
Yeah.
she kind of like offsets Harley Quinn's flamboyantness with her cold kind
yeah,
of
cold
facade.
heart, quite literally.
So yeah, no, that would be kind of cool, I guess, if he could put it, those two plus a couple extra other random characters.
Mm. So yeah, interesting.
But yeah, honestly, I'd like to see Captain Boomerang back. And honestly, I mean, I guess if they're gonna replace him with King Shark, I guess they can take away Killer Croc, even though he was a good
Do we
character.
care Rick Flag is out?
Um,
It's just weird because the Suicide Squad usually always has him.
yeah, I mean, I guess if you're gonna
Because it
replace him
doesn't
with some
matter.
sort of other type of like military-esque kind of like control freak, I guess
Yeah.
it would be okay. Because technically he was the witch's boyfriend, so
Oh yeah, Enchantress.
yeah.
What a waste of a character.
Oh, absolutely. And also her brother there, the god or whatever.
Oh,
That was
Flame guy. at the
yeah,
end.
a measly little bastard.
I don't even know what his name was.
Like,
Was he given a name? No one cares. Doesn't matter.
yeah.
Doesn't
So
matter. All right. So, is
I-
this good news? Bad news? Doesn't matter.
I have high hopes, especially because he directed Guardians of the Galaxy, but honestly, I don't foresee it being a whole lot better than the original.
Really? Oh wow.
Just because like the cast seems too odd
Weird.
for me.
I want to see a set photos. Want to see because I know Suicide Squad, the first one, after all those leaks happened, they sent out a photo of the whole group, and then we talked about how weird and grungy they looked. I want to see it, and hopefully James Gunn makes like a cool, like bright, like fun-looking team like Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a team that's made up of a raccoon and a tree, and like aliens and stuff. I want to see a set photo, and then I'll be like, I'm bored.
All
I'm on
right, yeah,
board.
I'll agree with you on that one. A nice set photo would really do a lot.
All right. I think this film's still being written, so I think it's going to be a while. But yeah, that was our junk mail. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. Watch Captain Marvel. Or I guess don't if you don't want to. But yeah, we had a fun time with it.
We highly recommend Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
is what
we
we're saying.
recommend it. Yeah. We can't force you. We don't have a gun to your head unless you give us an address of where you live, and then we'll go over and put a gun to your head.
We will not. He is batshit crazy. Don't listen to him.
It's true. All right. So, if you want to see our guest for our next episode, go to Games My Mom Found on Podbean to see Mike's podcast, or please subscribe to our show. Please do. Or you can subscribe to us on YouTube, where we post our podcast episodes, but also our Trash Talk Let's Play, where we play a usually crappy video game. And sometimes I put up reviews, and by sometimes I mean I haven't done that yet.
Because you're very, very lazy.
Yeah.
And procrastinate way too much.
But if you don't want to watch on YouTube, if you want to download it to listen to our episode at the gym, oh my god, imagine listening to our voices while you're trying to work out.
Oh, I don't think I could do that. I think I would cry.
Imagine breaking down in the middle of the gym. Or if you want to listen to us on a long trip, you're going to be very desperate to do that. Download our episode on Podbean, Stitcher. We're on Spotify now, and hopefully soon, if I get around to it, iTunes. We're going to put that up in iTunes eventually, baby. But yeah, and if you have any questions, email us, trashtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Travis, take us away, end the show. I don't have it ended written down.
You think I do? I don't write anything down. I am the most organized person you'll ever meet.
All right,
But,
I'm gonna steal your ending from one of our shows. All right, folks. Shit, I forgot what you used. All right, you said something along the lines of
never stay sober.
never stay sober, keep on drinking, have a good time. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Word.
Out.